It's finally time, you guys, to show you my paper computer game, The Lives of Ginkus. So here is the cover. Now, remember, I've been talking about this game for years on my channel. It's been planned for many years. I think I even had the idea for it before I even started this YouTube channel. It is finally here. Yeah, honestly, I hope it's not too underwhelming for you guys. Like after all that buildup, like almost nothing I could make could be good enough to match the expectation, right? But yeah, it is here. Well, at least this is the first part of it. This is the first couple of screens. That's what I'm going to show you today. We played it yesterday. You can watch the playthrough with me and Chris. The live stream is up on my channel. I might post some clips from that later. But regardless, this is the game. Let's show it to you, right? So, Ginkus has sort of always been a mysterious character, right? He's one of my most classic characters, one of my most well-known characters. He's this dude with this staff that shoots energy out of it. He was the king of the Zerelta on planet Shri, but that was in my game, The Last of the Zerelta. That supposedly happened 1,000 years ago, and since that time, he's been sealed off inside of his capital building that whole time. What's been going on since then? Well, while he's been sealed off inside his capital building, we've seen Ginkus showing up in different worlds, in different realities. Just like little, Ginkus cameos show up in all different games and sketches in my sketchbook that take place in totally different worlds. He's just been all over the place. And this game is finally answering the question of what has been going on that whole time. The whole time Ginkus was in stasis inside his capital building after his country was taken over by rebels, and he sealed off his capital building and went into like an eternal slumber. What's been going on for Ginkus while he was asleep? Well, in this game we find out. So this game starts, and by the way, this is an art that was originally going to be the art for the next screen, but I'll show that to you in a second. So here it is. This starts right at the end of the last game, The Last of the Zerelta. And if you remember, at the end of that game, you fight your way. You play as Ginkus, and you fight your way to the top of the Capitol building. And there's oh, this is the wrong side. Yeah, there we go. You fight your way to the top of the Capitol building, and there's Kroden ships coming. You're like standing on the spire. You pull your staff from the top of it, and you shoot out energy, and that is what puts the building into sort of like a stasis field where it stays for the next 1,000 years. And Ginkus stays there as well. But in this game, we see what's going on for Ginkus, because in Ginkus's mind, as soon as you activate the staff and create the energy field that puts the building in stasis, you go somewhere else. But it's the same. It's like nothing happened. Only a few moments passed. Here, there's like a Kroden ship incoming. They're like ready to kill you, right? And here, you're still standing on the top of the same spire, except something has changed. These two Kroden guys are no longer trying to kill you. They serve you. These are your guys, because you have passed into an alternate universe, an alternate reality. And here, Ginkus is actually the king of the Kroden in this universe. This is a universe where the Zerelta nation didn't exist, never existed, and the Kroden were the best possible of the three bad outcomes, of the three bad governments that could have ruled this land of Shri, the planet of Shri. And so Ginkus sided with them and became their king. And now, ironically, even though we're used to Ginkus being, like the enemy of the Kroden, now he has to go and convince the people to pay taxes to the Kroden, basically. So that takes us to the next screen where, we start up here, and that's interesting. We've got the Tower of N over here, and the Tower of N is this weird tower that has ends all over it. We've seen this before in Balzac Globotron. It's a tower that's in the middle of the city, of the Shri capital city, Ginkus' city. But it was never clear what the purpose of it was. It's this weird, mysterious tower. Anyway, it's just sort of there, you know? If you go into the lobby, it's empty. It's just like, almost like a abandoned, like, warehouse. But anyway, these are the houses of people, and you have to go to each house and try to convince people to pay their energy taxes to the Croden, who they all know to be this terrible fascist regime, but they are the least bad of the three possible governments that could have taken over right now. So Ginkus is hoping that as the king of this group, he can moderate them and get them to sort of calm down and be a better government. So, all right, like, when Chris did this, he went to each of the houses and tried to convince each of them that they were trying to start a democracy. That's not the only way you could do this. You could talk to these people in different ways, and you would get different responses. But the goal is you have to get each person to pay their energy their energy taxes. They give you some energy, and when they do, you get enough energy to leave and go on to the next world. So yeah, Ginkus, this house over here belongs to somebody who doesn't like the Croden because they're like too fascist and doesn't want to go along with any fascist like dictatorship, basically. But, they're reasonable though, so they can be reasoned with pretty easily if you make a good argument. However, this house belongs to someone who is a fascist, and their problem with the Croden is that they're not fascist enough. They want like a more fascist government. You have to find a way to convince them to go along. Chris did that by ordering them like an authoritarian, and that worked pretty well. Then down here, we've got a house where people who sound like they're going along with you, they sound pretty convincing, but it turns out this is actually where the rebellion is forming. Like, they have a rebellion against the Croden. And yeah, once you've convinced all these people to give you energy, then you can go on to the next screen. Because once you get energy, you go back up to the top of your tower and you shoot out the energy from your staff once again. But you don't go back to your original planet of Shri. We are getting even further away from the normal PCG universe here. So over here, we've got, this is the next world. We can see Ginkus looks quite a bit different here, right? He's got like tall hair. He's got like a weird staff. It's still a power staff. It still does the same thing, right? But it's just differently shaped. And this is a world like dominated by these 4 towers, which is where, like, this is like the center of government for this planet. The planet, by the way, is called Shrey instead of Shri that Ginkus comes from. Because remember, this is an alternate universe where history unfolded differently. So these towers are ruled by the Lords of Zor. Kind of sounds similar to the Zorelta, which is the nation Ginkus comes from on his planet, but it is a little different. These are the Lords of Zor, and they are jerks who rule the planet, but they don't actually enforce it. They've just been ruling for so long that they just expect everyone to obey them, and everyone just kind of does. Over here, we've got, that is Dr. Phileas. Dr. Phileas is a scientist. We have seen him once before in paper computer games. He was trapped in the netherworld. Like, he's a scientist who sort of figures out this sort of dimensional stuff. But anyway, in this case, he's a scientist, and as soon as Ginkus approaches, he sort of figures out that Ginkus is an interdimensional being. And he's sort of the guy that explains what Ginkus really is. The thing is that he calls Ginkus what he calls a planes spanner. Now, I want to be clear, there is a term planes walker that you've seen in things like Magic the Gathering and stuff, and a planes walker is somebody who travels from universe to universe. But Ginkus is not that. Ginkus is a plane spanner. That is something bigger. Like, this has been true of Ginkus the whole time throughout all of paper computer game history. We never knew that until today. Ginkus is a plane spanner. Now, what does that mean? Well, basically, instead of just being someone who travels from universe to universe, he spans the universes. His counterparts in all different universes, like how this guy is the counterpart of Ginkus in this universe, the versions of Ginkus in both universes are connected to each other. In a larger sense, they are like one big being. Their consciousnesses are connected across all these different worlds. And so Ginkus is one really big being, and that's why thoughts and ideas from one world can flow, into the next, and he can make decisions, together as one big being. So Dr. Phileas is someone that you're going to want to keep visiting throughout the game. He's sort of like the multiversal scientist, and when weird multiverse stuff happens throughout this game, he's going to be the guy to come back to and talk to for that to be understood, to gain a better understanding of what's going on. We can see once again the Tower of N is here, looking absolutely identical to how it looks in the previous screen and in the home world, in the main PCG universe that Ginkus came from. But yeah, the goal is to go into each of these buildings. In this case, Chris was able to figure out that the concept of democracy does not exist here in this universe, but there is a band called Democracy, and they have, they choose who's going to be the lead singer each year by voting amongst themselves. And so Ginkus is trying to go around and sell everyone on the possibility of, and by the way, Ginkus has a different name. In each one of these worlds, Ginkus is a slightly different person, so he has a different name here. Ginkus is trying to go around and try to convince everyone, or trying to, energy in it. It's called the ruling energy. If you have the ruling energy, then you get to rule the country according to this. So you can go into each one of these towers and you'll meet each one of the lords of Zor, and they completely assume everyone's gonna do what they say. So they have no armed guards, they have nothing. You can just walk in and pretty much take it, assuming you can get in the door. So yeah, once you gather all the energy and you establish democracy in this country, well, that's optional. That's what Chris did. But once you gather all 4 pieces of energy, walkways between these things appear and they elevate you up. So you're floating up here in the sky, and you release energy once again to travel out of this universe. But this time, Dr. Phileas gives you a pill, which allows you to sort of see the currents between different worlds in the multiverse better. So this time, once you leave this world, you don't just go on to some next world. You sort of see the currents of energy taking you from world to world, and that's why you can perceive this. This is the multiverse, the map of the multiverse. Each universe is marked by a number. This is, you've got Shri 724, Shri 725. These are the numbers of the different universes in the PCG multiverse. Somewhere in this multiverse is probably every paper computer game that's ever been made, for the most part. There are, this one, 724, is the main paper computer games universe. It is the one that Ginkus started from at the beginning of this. Then 725 was the universe where he had to convince everyone to vote for the Croden. And 706 is the one where he had to convince the Lords of Zor to, to overcome them. But there's so many other universes to explore, and that is what we are going to explore as we continue getting further into this game. We're going to visit every one of these universes. We're going to see how they're different. We're going to see what's going on there. That's interesting, right? What's this weird cube and this universe that's cracked open? What does that even mean? this is all stuff we are going to get into as the Lives of Ginkus continue. So I hope you guys are going to hang out with us. We're going to continue, as I make more screens of this game, I'm going to continue showing them to you in these sort of overview videos. We're going to continue playing them in live streams. I'll probably post clips of the playthroughs. And any other videos I want to make that seem relevant to this game. This is the next major paper computer game I'm making after, like, Balzac Lobotron. I don't think I've made a PCG this major since that time. Maybe some of them get close, but yeah, this is going to be the biggest one in quite some time. So that is all I've got to show you for today. Definitely let me know what you think down in the comments below. I really want to hear what you guys think. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and PCG you later.